And with last night's win, I think that we've officially arrived there. Yes, there's absolutely a scenario where over the next 2 weeks with the strength of schedule, they come out of this and that belief is shaken to a certain degree. I guess the difference is when you put together a stretch like this and you play a game like you did last night, where again, it's a complete team effort where you lose a forward at the very beginning of the game and you just go toe-to-toe with the league's best team. And I've seen some what's that thing? The deserve to win-o-meter. It's tilted pretty heavily for the Avalanche. That's why you got to watch the games. If you watch that game and your belief was the Colorado Avalanche win that thing 70% of the time, you're out of your mind. Out of your mind. If you thought that the reason that the Leafs won that game is because Colorado had their third-string goaltender in net, you are out of your mind. Does a different goalie maybe make one of those saves? All right. I guess. If you want to play the what-if game, the Leafs looked every bit as good as the Colorado Avalanche did last night. Flat out. Watch the games. If you stayed up, which I did, and you know what? I'm grateful that the Leafs played a game like that last night where people do stay up and they invest in the team and they do sacrifice a little bit of sleep and say, yeah, I want to watch this hockey team. They've earned that right. Again, I think 2 weeks ago, you're probably not. You might give the first period a go and then flip it off and just say, yeah, what's the point? But they are now officially in a playoff spot. We're going to be doing standings watch all season long. That's going to be one of the entertaining things about this year. One of the departures from years past that people pointed to when they were sucking was, hey, at least they got to grind to get into the postseason. Hey, maybe that's different. Maybe having things to play for that are this heavy instead of just home ice advantage or not, or finishing third or second in the Atlantic is going to matter for these guys. And right now it's hard to believe that that's not going to have any impact on this roster whatsoever. There are two things, though, that are most important to me when I'm watching them right now. And one, we're kind of almost beaten to death, but it's impossible to ignore, is just how connected they look as a team. The vibe around them when you see, and listen, it's easy to be, if you're 8-0-2 and 10, I would guess a lot of people would say, yeah, it's easy to be up when this is happening, but what happens when you go through a lull? I really do believe that they're better prepared for that now, given their personality makeup and the balance that they have on the ice to endure a stretch like that than they've been in years past. It no longer feels like it's just the stars that need to carry this hockey team. It no longer feels like if you go through a slump with William Nylander, with Austin Matthews, or with John Tavares, who is absolutely in one right now, that you're not going to be able to compete. And that we're going to be doing these questions about shuffling the bottom six and more guys trying to get involved and blah, blah, blah. It does. It feels different. I'm sorry. I know that makes you look foolish in this market because only one team can win, and that hasn't been the Toronto Maple Leafs since 1967, but it does. I've been around this team for a long time now. I've watched them my entire life, and I've covered them professionally now for over a decade, and I can tell you that I honestly feel as though this is a different vibe and that this is a different hockey team than we have seen with past iterations of this core. And that's not to say that I think they're going to win a Stanley Cup. But if you would have told me, hey, these guys are going to lose Chris Tanev essentially for what feels like the season, I know that they're still waiting on those reports. If you told me that they were going to be trying to duct tape their blue line together, that they'd missed this many games of Stolars, and look as concrete as they did on the road yesterday, after the start that they had to the season, I would have called you nuts. I really did. I thought that this year was just about draft picks. Whether or not you were going to convey it to Boston or whether or not you were going to luck your way into a lottery pick. Because that's the way they looked. That was the information that they gave us. It was a lifeless team. It's hard not to point to certain things like some of the injuries giving guys added time, the injuries adding guys like Troy Stecher to this locker room. But man, oh man, they look good. So yeah, the first thing is just their connectivity as a group. The way that they seem to like each other, the way that they support one another, the way that they look like they're having fun, those things matter. When you show up to work and you're having fun, it's going to be better than when you're showing up and it's a drag. And we have absolutely seen different iterations of this team showing up to work and looking like they're having absolutely no fun. They're standing in front of the media. The body language is piss poor. The product looks flat. Guys don't look engaged. Guys don't feel involved. Players are in and out of the lineup. It's not, it has been very different than this. The other thing is just the way Austin Matthews looks. He was as good as Nathan McKinnon was last night. He was as important as Cale Makar was last night. He was turning pucks over. He was threatening for long stretches of the game. He gets reunited with Bobby McMahon, which, by the way, good coaching by Craig Berube to make that adjustment. Craig Berube probably not getting enough credit during this stretch because we're throwing a lot of praise on the players, but he has clearly made adjustments. He has clearly gotten more guys involved. He has started to lean more. He went away from the thing that we've criticized the Leaf for year over year over year, which is even when things are going wrong, they never really moved the formula around. And instead, Craig Berube, who when things were going wrong, and it did feel a lot of the same for stretches of the season, was, oh my God, all right, Nylander back up. Oh, okay, we're just doing the same thing. All right. Power play had been stagnant for so long. Now that's flipped. Now you got a guy like Michelli on there. Tavares sacrificing his ice time. And what are important points for a guy who is struggling the way that he is 5-on-5? There's more sacrifice on the roster. There's more minutes being spread around. There's more fun being had. There's better coaching happening. The superstar player of the team is looking great. William Nylander jumped right back into the fold and looks like himself. I think that he had a bit of a quiet game, to be honest, but that overtime, he's spectacular there. You lean on him. He forces an incredible turnover on Nathan McKinnon and then scores a goal. Things are just going great. There's really, I don't even really know what you would be complaining about right now with this team. Like what the issue would be, because I know that that's absolutely a tendency of this fan base. That's a tendency of this media market. You find things to talk about. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what it is that you would sit there and say, well, I don't like this. What's the story? That one of the goalies is going to come back and now you have 3 really good goalies? Ooh, compare that to where we were at a month ago. Not even a month ago, 3 weeks ago. It's nuts. Anyways, it is Leafs game day. Score a Popeye's chicken sandwich for only $6 in classic or spicy. Make it your new game day tradition. Get your $6 sandwich at a Popeye's near you. James Myrtle of The Athletic joins us now. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Playing hurt, JD. That was, why wasn't that a 9 o'clock start last night? That's
I don't know, but first of all, I don't want to hear any complaining. McKee was sending me texts last night, too, where he's like, I'm tired. Look at him going, your show starts at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. How dare you be discussing this with me? You know where Sammy is right now? He's in bed. You know where you are right now? And is that a robe? Is that a cardigan? Like you're in your little home. You're all warm in your bed, having a sweetheart of a time. I was so tired this morning that, you know, when you're drunk and you don't remember how you got home?